Welcome to Friendly Family Foods with Chef Nancy. Today's show is sponsored by Value Market. What are we going to do today? We are going to make a one skillet brunch, or listen, this is a fun dinner. What we're going to do is we're going to have hash browns, scrambled eggs, bacon. It's going to be divine. And we're going to make it in an iron skillet because why not? Now, our ingredients are going to be, for the hash browns, I'm playing a trick on you. I'm using French fries that are thawed. Why? The best hash browns are made from potatoes that have already been cooked. These have already been cooked. They're just plain old French fries. There's no salt in them, nothing. So I let them thaw. And this is something that's a good way to teach a child to cut. They can sit in a chair, give them a cutting board, a paring knife, and they can learn to cut. We're going to put cheese on it when we're done. We're going to use bacon, and I'm using locally produced bacon from Fisher's. You can also use Broadbent, or you can get whatever's on sale. Eggs. I'm really funny about my eggs. I like my eggs to come from local farmers. And you don't have to wait until there's a farmer's market to get them. Value Market has eggs from 2 different farmers. And if they're out of them, you ask and see if they've got some more in the back. These are free-range eggs, and you can always tell when they're free-range because you'll see they look different. This one's speckled, that one's a light brown, that's a dark brown. These eggs are wonderful, and they're fresh. When you crack them, the egg, if you like a fried egg or a poached egg, the yolk sticks up. Yummy, 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 yummy. I got to quit talking about it because we're going to have to cook this in a minute. I always like to add some fresh herbs to it, so today we're going with parsley. And we're going to have green onions in this, which are going to be just make it bright. And we're going to put those in at the end with our parsley. And for our side dish, we're going to have something light and healthy. We're going to have some light vanilla yogurt, and we're going to use berries on it. And you're saying, oh, those are frozen. Absolutely. If I can't get them fresh, in season, locally, then I buy them frozen because then they're frozen at their peak. And I only have to pull out as many as I'm going to use. So the rest of them can stay in the freezer, and I'm not wasting anything. Plus the fact, when they thaw out, they get this nice syrupy texture to them, and when I put it over the yogurt, it's really, really good. All right, now we're ready. We're ready for it. The best way to cook bacon in the world. One, when you cook it on top of the stove, what happens? Grease gets everywhere. Then when the kids are helping, it not only gets all over the stove, it gets all over the floor. Then Grandma walks through and slips and falls and breaks her bottom. No more. We are going to do it in the oven. Not only does it cook better in the oven, all the splashing that goes on, you can either wipe the oven out ever so often, press your self-cleaning button. It's just the only way to do it. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, you can do sausage in the oven too. The one thing about doing your bacon in the oven that makes it so wonderful is you don't have to do anything with it. 350, 20 minutes. I don't know your oven, so check it after 15. If you want to turn the pan from one direction to the other, that's absolutely fine. You do not need to turn the bacon. Now you want to make sure you use a pan with sides to catch the grease, and I use a piece of parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can use a piece of Reynolds wrap. It just makes it easier to clean the pan. You can buy parchment paper in the grocery. It comes in a roll. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our bacon. I'm going to move this over here. And we're going to lay it down. Oh, this is going to be so wonderful. Now, the bacon can touch, but you really don't want it to overlap. It cooks better if it doesn't overlap. Now, The recipe I'm going to give you can feed up to 4 children or 2 to 3 adults. You know the way your family eats. You have to remember there's a lot of protein in this, so you want to be careful with that. All right? Now, got my bacon. I'm going to pop it in the oven, wash my hands, and we're ready for the next thing. I'm getting ready to cut my green onions and my crinkle fries and scramble my eggs, but I have to tell you, that bacon smells so good. Oh, I just love the smell of bacon. All right, now when you use green onions, you want to cut the root end off. And I tell people, especially when I work with children, that's the hairy end. Now, when you use green onions for this recipe and for most recipes, use the whole onion almost down to the very end. Now, this is something, again, that a child can cut. Give them a paring knife, and they can cut one at a time, and they can learn how to cut real small. But since we're not doing that, we're going to cut it like this. Now, when you use a French knife, remember, toe, heel, and keep your fingers out of the way. Okay? And what you can do, instead of using them as a guide the way we chefs do, you can do the way I'm doing and just keep moving them back. Like this, you can stop and move them back. But you see I'm going toe, heel, toe, heel. All right, this is for compost, and I'm going to take my green onions, and I'm going to put them in my little container here. Maybe I want to do this with my hand. See, I'm trying to show off for you because it's television, and oh well. There we go, folks. Okay, that, parsley. Next are the crinkle fries. Now, what I usually figure is about a cup of fries per adult, cut up. So we're going to take these, and I'm going to put these out here, and we're going to cut them up. Now, look at how we got this. And see, this is a great way, they're soft, to teach a kid how to cut. Now, you don't have to use crinkle fries. You can also use steak fries. I don't like skinny fries for this, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take them, and they don't have to be a perfect cut because we're making hash browns. So we're going to take this, and this is enough for 2 adults, way enough for 2 adults, or 4 children. What do you think? Unless it's a teenage boy, then nothing is enough for a teenage boy, I'm convinced. I am totally convinced. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to put our French fries that are cut up in the bowl, and we're going to get our eggs ready, and by that time, our bacon ought to be just about done. And what we're going to do, we're not going to start anything till the bacon comes out. We drain it, and we're going to crumble it, and it's going to go in with the eggs. Yeah. All right. These are humongo eggs, so what I'm going to do is I am going to use just 4. 1. Oh, look at that egg. I don't know if you can see how high that yolk's standing, but it's absolutely gorgeous. This egg is probably not even a week old. Oh, and the flavor, it's going to be really intense. Now, if you got kids helping you do this, and of course you're going to get shell into the egg, the way you do it is you use the shell to get the shell out. I don't know, it likes itself, and it'll come right out. All right, 1, 2, 3 of these humongo bongo eggs. Oh, look at this one. Ooh, baby. 4. If you're baking, you're always supposed to use large eggs. When you use these fresh ones, you've got to kind of figure out which one's large, because that one was an extra large. Okay, so I've got this, and I'm going to take my whisk, break the yolks, and mix her up. And we're gonna get ready to do our one skillet dish. Okay, the bacon, it's ready to come out of the oven. Now the trick about cooking bacon is you gotta hide it when it comes out of the oven. It's like hot chocolate chip cookies. Oh, smell that. Now, look at this bacon. You can't do any better than to cook bacon like that. See how perfect it comes out? It came out just beautiful. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it and get a few pieces of paper towel, put it on my cutting board, and put the bacon on it. Don't forget, you do not pour bacon grease down the drain, down the toilet, or out the back door. And yes, I said out the back door. I know somebody was doing that, and they got some four-legged creatures that were totally unwelcomed. Okay, let me go get my paper towels and my tongs, and we're getting ready to do it up. Alrighty, now, oh, look at that bacon. It is, delish. Oh, I love bacon. Oh my goodness, well, we've got all of it. Now, this pan is hot, and it has hot grease. Remember that. Be very, very careful. And I'm gonna move it there so I don't burn myself, because that's something I do on occasion. Now I'm gonna let this drain. Oh, I wanna eat this. All right, don't eat it, Nancy. Stop, stop, stop. I'm gonna let it drain for a couple minutes, and then we're gonna crumble it up, and we're gonna add it to our mix. So while I'm waiting, I'm gonna add just a little bit of oil to the bottom of my iron skillet, let it get good and hot, so I can start the French fries that are gonna be my hash browns. But I'm gonna turn it down a little when I add my eggs, because you never wanna cook your eggs as hot as you cook everything else. Oh, that bacon, oh. Okie dokie. Now I'm gonna take my bacon, and oh, it's so nice and crispy, and it's just perfect. And I'm gonna just cut it up a little instead of just crunching it with my hand, because I want to make sure I got nice size pizzas. Nice size pieces. Okay, now let's go to my pan. Okay, now we're ready to rock and roll. This doesn't take any time at all to make this delicious dinner. My pan's hot. I can see it by the little lines I've got in the oil, and I use just plain canola oil. No, I did not use bacon grease, because it's a saturated fat, and I love saturated fat like butter. Now, got that, and I'm gonna add a little salt and some black pepper. Now, normally when you make hash browns, lots of times people will add white onions to it. Well, that's not what I do, since I like so much to use the green onions at the end for flavor. Now, see how this, you can hear it sizzling? We're gonna let it start getting brown, and we're gonna stir it up, and then we're gonna start the rest of the magic. Now, it's time for the eggs, so I'm gonna turn it down some. Remember, you don't cook your eggs at the same heat you cook everything else. They just burn. Now, look here. I got my eggs and my bacon. Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. And I'm gonna pour this over the top. Get it all out. Oh, yeah. It's almost like making a stir fry with potatoes. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can stir it in there like this, like I'm doing, or you can put a lid on it and let it steam done. However you want to do it will work just fine. Now, the bacon and eggs are hot all the way through. I don't want them to get brown on us. Because of carryover cooking, I'm going to go on and turn the pan off. Now, I'm going to add some green onions to it. And like I said, they give it a nice bright flavor. Add some fresh parsley. Whatever herbs you have growing in your garden, go for it. Whatever you got, if you've got pots that you use, whatever you do, that's what you're going to use. I've used thyme in this, oregano, basil, put all of them in it. There's nothing better than the flavor of fresh herbs. Now, don't let your eggs overcook. We're ready to go. I'm going to take it, plate it up. Oh yeah, we're going to top it with some cheese, and that cheese will melt, and you've got yourself a good dish. Now I'm going to go put this on the table. I'm going to get my yogurt and berries, and I'm going to eat.
This has been a Metro TV production.